There, people of Fishton. How you doing today, people around the world? Hopefully you're having a great morning. Today we are going to make a teddy bear plushie. I'm just scaling real quick. You can join me if you need to scale also. And if you don't need to, don't worry about the step. Sorry, getting a little sick again. Somehow I just got over a big, huge cold and I seem to be getting another one, or the same one, I don't know. So, pardon my sniffling, but alright. First, we'll flip to edit mode. We'll control B, and then we're going to just get it around even, and then we're going to add some bevels. Try and control the shape a little bit better. And then we're going to edit, undo, and then we're going to control B again. And just try to get it as even as you can. Perfect. I'll flip out of edit mode. And we'll scale it up with S, and then we'll start slimming it and just making it more of the base of the shape that we want. So this will be basically the stomach area, I think, of our plushie teddy bear. So as you can see, we're going to need a little different than what it was, so just kind of change it accordingly. This is probably going to be his neck. So we'll just kind of make it the appropriate size and shape for a neck. And everybody's going to be a bit different, so just make it what you think. Shift D again when you're done that to copy the shape. And then we'll S this up and we'll change the shape to make it more of a head shape that we want. And just keep on adjusting it until it looks about right for you. Somewhat circular, a little slimmer on the sides to make it more of a head shape. That should be good. When you think you're good, we will Shift D. And we don't have to keep on using the same shape if you'd rather not, but I'm just doing it for quickness and easiness. Probably could refine the shape a little bit better if you really wanted to. So I'm going to make this thinner. And if you need to do anything that I'm not doing, just go ahead and pause the video while you catch up. Is that the shape we want for the ears? I think it is, but let's move it a bit more forward, like that. I don't know if that's exactly what I want. Maybe we will... I think they're pretty round, though. I think we're pretty close to the right shape. I might be a bit off, but if you realize there's something I'm not doing, like you realize it'd be better if you did something else, go ahead and do that little step, but I think we're pretty close. I just copied it and then moved it to the inside, and I'm just going to shrink it a little bit more, and it's just going to leave us like an ear look to it. You can decide on your own depth how far you want it to go in there. And then object, bool, and difference. Okay, if you're happy, Shift D it. And we'll go ahead and put one on the other side. I'm just going to check what axis it is and add a minus to it. And I'll put it on the other side because we're still in the middle. It's a little bit mousy, but I think we're getting the right idea. I think it looks pretty good. Could do move this head around a little bit to make it look a little bit better. Not like that, maybe. Look a little smaller and less mousy, more berry. The only thing is either we have to do them together, if we move them at all. I think that is a little better like that. So let's just delete this one again. And let's take this one and move it just like this, maybe. And we're gonna figure out what angle it's on. And do this. -15. Now move it around accordingly, like I was saying. Maybe you want it one way or the other. Maybe it's too big. Actually, that looks a bit better when it's smaller. I think the head's a little bit big too. Okay, that's a little better. I'm gonna do that. Again, move it around till you're happy. Shift D when you're happy. And it was the middle one, so we'll just add a minus there. And then we'll just change this to a regular 15. And it should be exactly symmetrical, so it should be a good change. Now it looks a little more berry, I think. I'm going to Shift D again. And we're going to hit S. And there's two ways we could do this. I'll show you both. We could just do a face right on this thing. And like make this his nose and just make it to the right size. Or we could do this. Kind of give him a bit of a snout, basically. Like that. I think that's what a bear would have, really. Something like that. But this is a teddy bear, so it's going to be up to you again how you want to do it. That's more of a real bear, so what I would probably do is Shift D, S that right down to like that, a little button nose, and we're just going to poke it through like that. Something like that. And as long as you're happy with the shape, maybe you want to go a little bit wider. But I am not going to bother. I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is do his eyes now. I'm going to make them a little bigger. I'm going to make them just a hair more flatter. Kind of like big button eyes. And then when I'm ready, oh, it's a little bit off. No, that did not help. That did not help. I'm just trying to find the right angle to kind of turn it with the head. And I think that's the wrong one. Yeah, that's the wrong one. So minus 15 maybe? Yeah, that's perfect. We'll Shift D it when we're ready. And I think it was the middle one, and we just remove the minus. Yep. So then we'll do plus 15, and it should be good for the other side. Just like the ears, we're just kind of got to figure out the right angles on the other side. It looks pretty good, I think. It looks like a pretty good teddy bear so far. Might make this just a hair bigger, and then just a hair thicker. Like that. And again, you may have to do a little bit of adjustments here and there, but you just want to get the idea anyways. So we're going to have to do a mouth of some sort next. Up to you if you want it to be open, if you just want to look like a little smile that's kind of on his face. Normally I'd do the mouth, but since this is a teddy bear, I think I'll try to do something a little different, and we'll just have like a little smile stick through that we'll color. And I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a minute here. Just going to have to figure out the right axis, and that's not it. It's going to be the bottom one. No, it's always the last one I try. And my buddy there, Zane's going to be like, dude, it says right at the top. I know. I don't know why I don't look. I just can't. Alright, let's figure this out. We could cheat a bit and make him a nice smile. Something like that. And then we'll just size it. Hopefully this will work. May not, but you gotta kind of take chances when you're making this stuff, and it's not always gonna work out what you're trying to do, but then you just gotta be clever and think of something else. Now that's a little spooky, I gotta say. Oh, he's gonna eat your face. So let's do a little less creepy anyway. So we'll S to shrink it, bump it back through, and then obviously it can't be that thick. Something like this, and now we'll bump it back through. Oh my god, that's creepy. And we'll shrink it side to side for it's not so hard to keep it lined up with the front. Something like this. I'm sorry, this is gonna give me nightmares. This thing is creepy. Alright, so that's what I would do for a teddy bear, though. Probably something like that. Another way we could do this, we could, okay, just bear with me. This is just another way we could do it if you don't like the creepy hanging through the face thing. Shift D, right? Just take it and just slide it out, for we can slide it right back in. That's, I won't say that joke. And then we are going to, sorry, click, shift left click, and then objective, bool, difference. Okay, if you'd rather just have that little hole there and we can color the hole, we could do it that way if you'd rather. It's not a big deal, really. But you can also take this piece and set it in. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I think it looks better like that, less creepy, but always up to you. One thing we're going to do, click it, switch to edit mode, and we're going to go ahead and color it just because it's going to highlight inside his mouth right now, and it's just going to make it easier for us to color him overall. So, and then we'll just connect everything else to him. Oh, no, it's going to connect. It's going to do it all for us anyways. Something like that. Then we're going to make him a little brown, for we can kind of use our imagination to imagine what it's going to look like. Now let's go back. Actually, it's still highlighted in his mouth, so we're going to do new, and we're just going to do a blackish color and assign it, and there we go. Now it kind of gives you an idea what he's going to look like. So I think sometimes they have a little line going up to their nose, so feel free to put that in too. I'm not going to bother. I think it looks pretty good like this. One thing I will do though is I'll highlight, sorry, I'm trying to highlight that nose. Oh right, it's not attached yet, that's why. I don't think I have to do anything else, so I'm going to go ahead and attach everything to his head. Control J, and then we should be able to color a couple other things like his nose. We'll make that black too. Perfect. Maybe for his ears, you could go ahead and grab all the things from the inside there and make his ears two different colors, but I don't think I'm going to bother. Looks pretty good like that, I think, for a teddy bear. So maybe his eyes, we'll go ahead and make them white, plus new. And what you could do is a few different things here. You can make it more 3D by what you would do is to make it 3D. Okay, sorry, just thinking. You would hit L, Shift D, right? And shrink it, and then move it out. And you can give them a little 3D eyeball basically by just, and it would be perfectly flat. It'd stick out as much as you want like that. And we can go ahead and assign that the black color. And as you see, it looks pretty cool. So Shift D that maybe. And I think it looks good enough. Hopefully you guys agree. And we'll just pop it up on the other side. Just got to find the right one. Okay, we might have to do it the other way. So there's two ways you could do it. You could copy, shrink, and pull it out like that, or you could just do that and kind of guess at it. I think that looks really good, so I think it's going to be good. You guys tell me what you think, but so anyways, I'll just keep going on. I think it looks good to me, so Shift D. Alright, and we're going to change this shape again. You're probably wondering what I'm doing, but hopefully this will make sense in a second. And just follow along. You got this. If this is your first time, don't worry, you're going to get through this. Maybe we will have to watch the video 4 times, but after that you'll know exactly what you're doing. Something like this. Teddy bears don't have butts. Keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. So we're going to do that. I don't know if it's too long, but this is going to be his little stubby leg, so maybe we want it a little more stubby. Yeah, that looks better. You can just play around with it until it looks good. Shift D, we'll do, oh, you know what? Let's delete that. Let's do this and just make it a little skinnier. They're just really fat that way. Don't want them that fat, so just trying to figure out the right proportions. That looks pretty good, I'd say. And I'm just gonna kind of like skirt them into the side of them like this. Maybe you want to get right in there and kind of make it look better. Maybe you want to bury it like that. Make it coming out of them like this. Find a good spot. Make it look good. I think I'll do about there. Shift D when you're ready. And we'll just add a minus to this one. Okay. Looks a little close together, so maybe I'll drag that one out. Delete this one. Shift D just to make sure they're symmetrical, and it was the middle one, so we'll just go minus again. And then we'll Shift D. And obviously his arms are going to be a little more like stuck into his shoulder area. And maybe you want him to be hugging the air. I don't know what you want. Maybe, should I do it that way? No. Okay, I'm gonna make him, let's make him hug the air like he's like embracing people basically. Something like that. The reason I did that is just gonna make it easier to then flipping the angles. Sometimes stuff gets a little messed up. You may want to do subdivision after, depending on what kind of textures you're doing. I'm going to apply like a fuzzy, furry type thing that should cover up any kind of issues I'm having with texture, scaling, things like that. But feel free to do what you do need to do. Just advise you may need to do that to subdivide all the faces, but just to get a nice even texture. Thought I better warn you anyways. I'm going to do a minus here. Okay. Got our hugging teddy bear. I don't know if he needs feet. I feel like they kind of might be cute if you did them right, but I'm not going to bother. I don't want the videos to be too long. You guys get bored when I go too long, so we're just going to join everything, and then we're going to join the head and legs to the body. Control J. And we have our plushie, and it's a sitting plushie. You can make them standing easy enough, obviously. Just don't connect the legs and flip them on a 90. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today, and well, you know what, one last thing we could do. Hopefully you didn't leave yet. L, Shift D, oh sorry, yep. Just thinking, is we could do this if you want to give them a little like belly patch of a different color, basically, of fur. And you just move it out just a little bit like that. Maybe find a better place that looks, yeah. You can see when it's in a good place, it's not breaking the tiles behind it, basically. Then again, just, oh boy, did I do that in the wrong mode? I did. I have to go back, sorry guys. And the reason is you really, oh, you know what, oh my god, I'm silly. You really shouldn't do it that way. When you Shift D, you need to hit P, selection, and then you can click it, adjust it and everything, but it's just less destructive this way than having it attached while you're doing it. And you can still kind of see if it's going to mess up the stuff on the back. When it's something like that, may have to boost it forward. Look for a clean spot to do it where your faces look good. And then go ahead and join it to the other piece, Control J, and L over top of it. And the color, we could just give this a slightly different color by plus new Just something else. You don't have to do it. You can do it. Up to you. Feel like it makes them a lot cuter, but you got to do you again and decide on what you think is best. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you thumbs up. And that way you'll be able to catch all my other awesome videos. If you'd like to show me some support, you can go check out my game. It's on Steam. It's called Fishton, A Town to Remember, and you will never forget it. Your mother and your brother and your father should all be playing Fishton. Saying that, we'll catch you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.